Hey everybody, welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by ShipStation. Listen, as folks adapt to the changing world, we're all going to be buying and selling more stuff online than ever before. And if you're an e-commerce seller, are you ready to meet the demands of our new delivery culture? Well, be ready with ShipStation. Listen, ShipStation helps you organize and ship, improving your customer service, saving you money on shipping costs, and keeping your customers happy. No matter where you're selling, Amazon, Etsy, or your own website, ShipStation brings all your orders into one simple interface, making them really easy to manage from any device, even your phone. ShipStation works with all the major carriers, including USPS, FedEx, Amazon, Fulfillment, and more, so you can compare and choose the best shipping solution for you and your customer. They offer big discounts on shipping costs, so any business can access the same postage discounts usually reserved for Fortune 500 companies. You'll always know you're getting the best deal. That's why ShipStation is the #1 choice of online sellers. You'll ship more in less time with the best rates available. Right now, the Smoking Tire listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use offer code TIRE, T-I-R-E. Make your business ready to meet the demands of delivery culture. Get started at ShipStation.com today. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in TIRE. That's ShipStation.com, offer code TIRE. ShipStation. Make ship happen. We're also brought to you today by Private Internet Access. Listen, when you're online nowadays, you need to protect yourself with a VPN service like Private Internet Access. Without it, your internet service providers always know what you're up to, even in incognito mode. Anyone with a bit of tech knowledge or a hacker can see your IP address, determine your location, and snoop on your data. That's not ideal, folks, and you deserve better. This is where Private Internet Access comes into the picture, restoring your security and your privacy. With just one click, you can hide your IP address, encrypt your internet connection, and become anonymous online. You'll be able to keep all your data to yourself, be untraceable, make safe digital payments, and even use public Wi-Fi networks safely. And it's not just that. With Private Internet Access, you can bypass geo restrictions, getting access to all the content on various streaming platforms around the world. If you feel like you've watched everything, I can guarantee you haven't, and it's time you try Private Internet Access to unlock it. One subscription lets you protect up to 10 devices at the same time, and there's apps for all major operating systems. You want to make sure you're safe online, use Private Internet Access, and here's the special deal. You get a 2-year subscription at a 77% discount with 3 extra months added for free. You pay less than $3 a month for complete digital privacy. That's an absolute steal with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so everything is risk-free. Head to privateinternetaccess.com/tire. That's privateinternetaccess.com/tire to get started. Lastly, but certainly not least, we're brought to you by Crown & Caliber, the official watch retailer of the Smoking Tire Podcast, and where I buy all of my watches. Here's how it's going to go. Crown & Caliber is giving away a $4,500 store credit. $4,500. That's enough to buy yourself a Rolex, an Omega, a Panerai, Breitling, a Glashuta. There's a lot of stuff you could buy at Crown & Caliber for $4,500 of credit, and they are giving it away. Here it is. It's very easy. crownandcaliber.com/Matt, M-A-T-T. That's it. crownandcaliber.com/Matt. No purchase necessary. Enter to win $4,500 gift certificate to Crown & Caliber at crownandcaliber.com/Matt. Get that Rolex, Panerai, Omega, or Breitling of your dreams at crownandcaliber.com/Matt. All right, on this episode of the podcast, we got our friend Kyle Connor in the building from Out of Spec Motoring. Homie is passing through on one of his many road trips. He's brought the dirtiest Tesla Model 3 I have ever seen, and it is most importantly our first episode in our brand new studio. Kyle Connor on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Hey everyone, quick note about today's show. We had an audio glitch that did not reveal itself until after we were done recording. So the audio you hear today is not coming from the good microphones and the good system, etc., etc. This is actually the backup, which is the iPad's internal microphone. So we know it doesn't sound as good as it should. We appreciate your patience in this while we work out the kinks and bugs in this new system. So just please don't tweet and post at us that the new system sounds a little tinny and thin compared to what you were expecting. So please enjoy this show with Kyle Connor.
Kyle.
Hey.
Hi. First show. Fucking hell. This is a little intimidating. What if it's not good? Oh no.
Don't post it.
Yeah, it's true. We could throw it in the garbage. No, we're not going to do that, but you have to...
Well, we need a show tomorrow, so...
We have to knock the... Yeah, it's too lucrative to throw in the garbage now. Yeah, the ads are good. We have to air all the garbage because we can't afford to throw it away. We actually had to... We didn't have to throw away a show. I accidentally threw away a show.
Oh, do tell.
I have a real... It's definitely not OCD, because that would discredit real OCD and real people who have it. But I delete old footage. I clean things up off my computers. I don't like to get close to full hard drives. We amass a lot of footage, both videos and podcasts. We recorded a show. I didn't name it properly. We recorded it onto my computer. I then thought that Zach had the raw footage, and I found out that he didn't after I deleted it.
So just the footage or everything?
I deleted an entire show. It's an entire podcast in which I believe we talked about the AMG GTC, some other things.
Yeah.
And I deleted it. I fucked. It probably happens like every 3 years. I just straight up delete something that I shouldn't be deleting.
Dang.
I deleted a Big Muscle episode back in the day. That was the worst because I was producing that, and I just straight up deleted the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt sick for about a month.
So my thing is forgetting to turn cameras on when I'm doing video.
Oh,
your thing is deleting.
Yeah, no, I'm just deleting full because, like when we do the show, it's like we sort of had a process, but it wasn't like a written process. It was just like what we kind of did. But I think first off, doing shows at my house was not ideal.
Wait, so after the last studio, you were at your house,
right?
Like your kitchen doing a studio?
Well, yeah, at my bar, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean, basically, we moved out of the last studio about 6 weeks too early.
Bummer. Is that because this was promised earlier?
Yes.
Like everything else in this project?
Yes, that's exactly why. And we were moved out early, and then it was and it's not that we couldn't get it done. We were ready. Until you get a certificate of occupancy from the city, I can't put that on the wall. We couldn't hang a light. We couldn't do anything. You can't move any furniture. So the day we got it, the very day we got the paper, we were here unpacking boxes and building furniture the very next day. But until the city says so, you can't. So
furniture has to come in after certificate of occupancy.
Yes.
How did you get this table in here?
So literally, how did we get it in here?
Yeah.
So for those who haven't seen the studio yet, the new studio is it's so great. We have the basis of the new studio. And wait, I'm not going to do this on the show. Listen. That's pretty much as hard as I could bang on the table.
Let me put a normal drink
Put a normal
down.
drink on the table. So I don't know how much of that the audience heard, but our old table was IKEA. It was shitty, thin wood, and it was basically a snare drum. It was ridiculous.
And you could hit the little the stands as well. These stands are out of the way.
Yes, and so...
You could hit this this whole studio with a hammer, and it's fine. It's just fine. You could throw shit.
Yeah. So the new studio starts with a totally soundproof room that's built soundproofed. Soundproof door, soundproof acoustic tile, soundproof windows.
Right, air gap in between the walls.
They're air gapped, yeah. And then this table is a 9-foot live edge black walnut table done by Sunset Projects, Mickey Iwasaki, who then filled it with Fiji blue resin to make sort of a lakes and rivers effect. And then we got the Shure SM7Bs, the Joe Rogan microphones, and these amazing stands. Zach is running the entire show from an iPad Pro now.
It's amazing.
Rather than our crappy webcams, our cameras are iPhone 11s with multiple angles each. And yeah, it's the only thing that's not, we're missing our decoration and that monitor, the monitor that we talked about the things, that's where it's going to go. And then it's going to repeat in the lounge. So you can watch a show in the lounge.
So you can pipe in the live stream to the
Exactly.
lounge right on
Exactly.
that TV.
Except there's one little stupid box that somehow the power cable has walked away, and that's the thing that boosts the signal to the other rooms. And so we got to find that. I don't know where it went.
Well, it's the
somewhere.
studio the show deserved. Because, one thing I really want
After 10 years, yeah, maybe not.
Well, maybe not from a start, but definitely now. Because even a year later, like, I have people that come up to me who are like, I think I saw you on the Smoking Dead. And it's been over a year. And it's like such a staple in the automotive world.
It's got a long tail on it.
Yeah, really long tail.
Yeah.
Especially since you changed the podcast to its own YouTube platform.
That's gone well.
And I've gone back and you can see early episodes still show numbers. Like people are going back.
People are going back and watching. We put up episodes that were before YouTube, before we did it on YouTube. And also our numbers on the car reviews are getting better. I think more of our subscribers are being fed the car review videos as well because we're on a different channel now.
This is huge for YouTube, and it's so for our channel, we are now a slave to YouTube.
Yeah.
And back
What
when
way?
back when I first came on the show last year, we didn't really have a YouTube channel. We were kind of starting it. We made a whole bunch of videos about electric cars, gas cars, and electric. And every single video that performed well, I'm talking north of 100, 200,000 views, have been hour-long road trip electric vehicle videos.
Whoa.
Which it's the only channel.
You're getting 200K views on hour-long videos?
Multiple.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's insane. And, the ad revenue is amazing on that.
On an hour-long video? Yeah, how many ad breaks
Like
do you
17. Every cliffhanger, drop an ad break.
Bro, that's amazing.
So now we, even when I go and put a normal car review, I did the Land Cruiser Heritage Edition off-road.
Kind of like that thing. It's
Loved
pretty
it.
cool.
Loved it.
It's pretty rad, yeah.
What happened was I needed to move. And I said...
Bro, you are learning, young,
yes,
young Jedi.
I'm very new, but I'm like, do you have anything big that can
Yes.
tow? And they dropped off this Big Mama Land Cruiser
How did it
Heritage
tow?
Edition. Oh, you can't feel anything behind it. I had my whole house on the back of it. Basically popping a wheelie. It was amazing. But, now I posted that video and it just completely flopped. And no one watched it. And so I go on an hour
Is it because you're known for EV stuff and it's
Partially.
like you tried doing a thing that's not the thing that you're supposed to do?
Right, partially. Now we're a slave to what we have to do are these big road trip videos. Which is
That's
why
what
we're
you
here.
mean.
Yeah.
That's what you mean by you're a slave. So you're a slave to your own success on YouTube, and that you've developed an audience that now wants this one thing.
Yeah, we're sort of like I tried a whole bunch of stuff the last 4 months. I'm like, we'll keep it electric content, we'll drift around the track, we'll do whatever. They do okay, especially if the news people pick it up, then it does well.
Right. The news people.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But
do they pay you a licensing fee for that kind of stuff? Or
no, they just pull it
They
and
just
go.
pull
That's
it.
the electric car blog life.
Yeah. Dude, the meme life got a hold of my Instagram page. You see that?
No, what
I
happened?
fucking posted a picture. I had the Ferrari F8 Spider, which we could talk about.
Yeah.
And we took a picture of a Caprice wagon, but you could tell that I'm driving a Ferrari and taking a picture of a Caprice. And I just wrote, yeah, that's me driving a $375,000 Ferrari, taking a picture of a $3,000 Caprice. Bro, every car meme page on Instagram just cropped out my username and straight stole that shit, dude. Everybody stole it.
It's on
People are
iFunny right here.
It's
People
what?
are making full careers.
It's on iFunny, right here. A friend of mine sent it to me, and I was like, "That's Matt's Instagram."
Yeah, everybody stole it.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, it got a lot of did pretty well on my own Instagram as well, but everybody just stole it. I got Fat Jude. What can I say?
It's the online world.
No, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it
But I
happens.
was the guy in the Ferrari
Right.
taking. That's actually what bothers me about it. It's not that I put a funny post up and they stole. It's like, no, the guy's like. It starts out, yes, I am the guy, and I am the guy. All these other people are like, yeah, I'm that guy. No, you're not. I was in that
it's
car.
literally
I
you.
did slow down traffic. Fuck you.
I do that stuff all the time and take pictures of random. Even on the way over here, I had a Morgan Plus 4, and I'm literally holding traffic, taking picture, and then racing a guy in an electric smart car with a giant ass wing on the back of it that would probably do a wheelie at 60 miles.
Whoa,
It was-
downforce on his smart. You got a picture of it?
Yeah, I got a picture
That's
of it, of
hilarious.
course. I don't know if it's on my
He's
phone.
driving the same Morgan Plus 4 that I drove, the gray car. Oh my god.
A
When
wing.
you say wing,
It's a wang.
we're talking about like he's ready to run at Bathurst. like it's like a super
Wait,
GT.
what was
thing.
it?
It's a smart
car.
EV.
I saw that car today at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, really?
I literally saw that exact same car, and he pulled out before I could get a picture. This
So it was
huge black
literally,
wing.
I collected the Morgan. I'm like scrambling to take a photo, and then we're wide open in the middle of LA. I don't know LA, and I'm racing this dude.
That's what you do in that Morgan. When you're driving a Morgan, the rules no longer apply to you.
I don't even look at the speedometer.
Yeah, there's no such thing as laws. It doesn't, because you're such a classy gentleman. It really doesn't even fucking matter. It's just great fun.
And you're never really going that fast. I mean, it feels like you're going fast.
Yeah.
But
you can pass a cop and be like, what the,
Yeah.
42? Oh, we're good.
I mean, I've only driven it probably 30 miles. I haven't been in fourth or fifth gear yet.
Yeah, and you don't need to.
No.
That's one of the cool things about that car is it's like an economy car powertrain. And so you could just hammer the if that was a Morgan from the 60s, you would never drive it like
I would
that.
feel so bad. I would have 1,500 RPM,
Yeah.
$3,000 shift,
Right, because everyone says they would drive a classic car like that, but nobody really does when they own that shit.
No, because everybody's afraid that it'll
Yeah,
break,
it
or that it's
explode.
valuable or
Yeah.
whatever. Even Gordon Murray, he was on, doing podcasts to promote the T50, and they were like, "Oh, do you still have yours?" He's like, "No, I sold it a few years ago because it became a $20 million thing."
His McLaren
But
F1.
his McLaren
Yeah.
F1. He's like, "I'm not going to drive that around," and
Yeah.
he could fix and all that
Right.
stuff. Like, so a classic, you're just
That's
like,
it.
ooh.
Yeah, Gordon Murray's an interesting one because he's not rich enough that he can't, Gordon Murray's an iconic character, but he's not so rich that he can't overlook the value of the one thing that he owns and that he designed and that is now too valuable to even use.
Yeah, right.
That's so interesting, isn't it?
It's a bummer, but
There's
he's
other
lived the
people
life.
that have so committed to owning their F1s for life, and granted, we're talking about very wealthy people,
Yeah.
but like Leno doesn't give a fuck.
He drives that thing all the
He
time.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
Yeah, he does. He does not give a fuck.
I love it.
And there's some other people I know, the Shine family from Long Island. They have a bunch of very cool cars, including a very frequently photographed white F1 that has the high downforce kit on it. So it looks like an LM, but it's white.
Oh, interesting.
It's got miles on it.
I've not
talking
seen that.
like 40, 50,000 miles. And this
Really?
dude, yeah. This motherfucker drove it to Pebble from New York.
Oh, cross
It was,
country. Here we
it
go.
was so beast. And he got to Pebble and it was covered in bugs. And he just
I
left
hope he
it
parked
so dirty. Yeah, he did.
Great.
He left it filthy and all weekend. It was amazing.
That's my life goal.
Respect.
Yeah, love that.
I'd like to think that I obviously it's economies of scale, but I drive my Lamborghini as if I can afford the depreciation that I probably can't afford.
Well, here's the thing with your Lamborghini. It's not depreciating. Probably the
That's
miles
true.
that you put on it
Yeah.
will equal its depreciation curve.
I think
Or
if I
appreciation.
actually looked at the market, I'm ahead on it. But it's nothing like Gordon Murray, who took a car probably as partial payment for designing this fucking thing.
Maybe, yeah.
At the time, most expensive car in the world.
First $1 million
Right?
car.
It was at the time. It was the most expensive car in the world, and he could drive it. Now, it's too expensive to fucking drive.
That's so funny.
It's unfortunate, though. I once met Ian Callum,
Oh, really?
who couldn't have been nicer. He was so cool, and he told me that he has never owned the production version of any car he's designed,
Whoa.
which kind
Really?
of weirded me out.
Does it feel like work to him? Therefore, he doesn't want to like all of the.
No, the production versions all feel
Yeah.
compromised from
Right,
the pure
okay.
designs.
That's where I was going next, yep.
He said it would bother him too much.
Well,
So
think
you would
about
own
when
the
the concept car comes out, we're always like, oh my God. And with
Yeah.
the exception of like F-Type and some others, they all changed a good amount. And if you
Right.
drew it and if you slaved over that paper for like months and years and then you watch it get
Yeah.
whittled by whatever accountants in production, you're just like, well,
I mean, dude, even if I write a story for like Road and Track, and they go, dude, it's going to print. You're gonna get a bonus check. I'm like, sweet, that's great. And then the print editors have their way with it, and you go, oh God, well that doesn't even sound like me anymore. Fuck, same kind of
it
thing.
had to fit depending on like the layout and stuff.
Right? Yeah, it needs to be 1,142 words exactly, or whatever. Yeah.
I have no experience in the print world, thankfully yet.
My only experiences have so far been okay. Actually,
Really?
They've not. One story I wrote was changed a little more than I would have liked, but it wasn't that bad. and you get a lot more money. I mean,
It's
like a. I'm not even kidding when I say it's probably a 5x. It's a
5x.
lot more, a lot more money, and then you get to go buy the magazines
And then have it on display.
send them to people. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
You're like, see, I have a legitimate job. They printed my name.
Right.
And if you get 2 in Road and Track, you get on the masthead for the year.
Really? Oh.
That's how it works.
So you got 2 last year.
I think I did 5 or 6 last year.
Oh,
but
okay.
but yeah, it was very good.
Congratulations.
It was the first.
That's really cool.
Congratulations, you are now an old media.
Right. Old school guys, next.
I was just watching, what was the Other Guys? You know the movie The Other Guys?
No.
You never seen The Other Guys?
I've never
Oh,
seen it.
man,
I've
it's
never
very,
even
very
heard
funny.
of it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a movie guy. So
Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, buddy cop comedy, incredibly well written, very, very fun.
The cast sounds
There's
cool.
there's a press conference, and then there's a guy who's like, "Oh, I'm here from the New York Post online edition," and the girl sort of pushes him out. I'm here from TMZ Print. It's like a very
TMZ print. TMZ newspaper.
Yeah. Imagine a TMZ.
Sunday only.
TMZ Print, I think, is page 6 in the New York Post.
That's true.
Basically TMZ.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, TMZ print is every Star magazine. It's like Star Tribune and all that bullshit. That's exactly what that is.
David Packer. Dude, explain to me the state of your fucking car that you're leaving me.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm devaluing
Yeah,
your
Kyle's
building
all.
so quick.
Kyle's all. Can I leave a car with you? I'm going on a road trip in a press car, and he rolls up in a Model 3. It's got a roof rack on it, and it. Were you at El Mirage?
I was at El Mirage.
He was. I'm looking at the
I
photo
was
right
at
now.
Bonneville
Yeah.
and Moab.
So you're in the 3 dustiest places in the world, and you have brought that dust. And at first, when you got here, I was like, "Oh, I'll open the door and pull it inside." He pulled it inside. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
maybe you should have pulled it inside." The first thing I
Street
said
park
is like, "You want my detailers to have at that?" I think we might have to park them downstairs.
You're just going to corrode all the pipes.
Yeah.
Electricity hates salt, and you drove it to Bonneville.
Right. Well, we actually maxed it on Bonneville, which was
What's the
pretty
max
cool.
on the Model
It's
3?
162. We got to
The
159.
fuck out of here, really?
Yeah,
Is it a
160.
performance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just put the small wheels on it for range.
Oh,
and then the big
oh, wow.
box. It counteracts itself. Actually, the box is super slippery.
I'm not surprised by that. The box is probably pretty decent.
Yeah, so like cruising from charger to charger, we're doing 85, 95 allegedly, and it's really no different than just driving a normal one. It's really just
That's
fine.
cool.
We have to charge maybe. an
What's your
extra
real
3
world
minutes.
range at that speed?
I haven't done a full test, but 210 miles.
That's okay.
Yeah. We had to do one stretch that was like 270.
And you have a performance long range, right?
Yeah, which isn't as efficient as the last one. When I did the Cannonball, that was a rear wheel drive long range.
And that's the most efficient one.
The most efficient.
But is
Model 3.
the trade off in speed worthwhile to you?
For most people, no. But because it's on track a lot, yes. And it's mostly just like throw people in the car and go sideways in track mode and be like, look at what this thing can do, and then send them.
How
on their
much
way.
time are you really spending on track with this thing?
At
lot?
least 3 or 4 days a week.
On track?
Yeah, well, we have our own testing facility in house now, so that car lives on the track. I buy $50 Centauri tires, and
No
I go
way.
through like a set a week.
You have an in-house
What is
testing
it- what is
facility?
this- What is this in-house testing facility? What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
so in North Carolina, the whole reason we live there is so we can make. It was really a poor decision on my part. I said, great, we found a track. We use it. It's called North Carolina Center for Automotive Research. Out of spec, my company partnered with them. That's where our headquarters are. Our offices are at our track. We have an editing booth in there, a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And the whole idea was let's shoot car reviews on track.
Well, that's kind of awesome.
It's kind of awesome.
So you just rent your office and it comes with track use?
Yeah, basically, yeah. We gave them an X sum of money, and now we have the track.
You
and
have unlimited
dealership.
track
Look at
use.
this
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a nice
it's
little
like a
curve.
road course.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long a road course is that?
It's 2 miles.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're out there every day.
Oh my god.
We live in
That's
the wrong
so nice.
Yeah, so like the
Fuck.
trade-off of living in Eastern North Carolina, which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
great.
yeah. You
Having
don't live
a
in a
track.
democracy, but you do have a racetrack.
You're absolutely
we
right.
can put a long tail on that kite, too.
Yeah, I know, right? Wow, though, a racetrack, huh?
Right, so that was basically the reason to get the performance was like,
Yeah.
we're really.
So
the
how does
only
that
ones
hold
that
up to having the shit beat out of it on a regular basis?
So I've had this car for 11 months, I think, just about, and it's had 55,000 miles. I don't daily it. I just drive it on road trips, and it stays at the track, and we take it around.
Well, that's a pure work vehicle.
It has...
Can you write that off? I bet you can.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you can write that off as a
Oh,
work
yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Do you write it off as a production expense or as a car?
As a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Look into
the
writing it
mileage-
off as a production expense. If you may be able to write off the
Maybe.
entire thing. If you literally aren't driving it except for videos, you could probably write that off as a production expense.
Right, that's probably something I should look into. I'm no tax expert.
You should get, for your North Carolina business, you know what you need? Hollywood accountant.
Oh, get one out here? Super stingy?
Get yourself a Hollywood Jew accountant.
Right,
I have
okay.
a recommendation.
Good, I need it. Right, so that car just has a really rough life.
So, shitty tires
Yeah,
with the
car-
intent of sliding.
Yes.
That's the idea. And they
Yeah.
probably, do they last like all day?
Yeah, I mean, it's really heavy,
Uh-huh.
right? And I mean, the speeds that we're sliding at are pretty high. So it's like a half a day out there. But
Still,
spread over a
but
week.
you're talking about like $100 in tires. Whatever.
Right, yeah, it's like 180 for a set of 4, I think
That's
is what I have.
awesome.
And I have them stockpiled.
Yeah,
too,
it's
you
looking
know?
great. You
We
got
have
extra
tire
wheels,
changes.
like-
Yeah, we do.
That's
And
so great.
yeah, because the whole idea is like we have a lot of people that now watch our YouTube videos that are driving up and down 95. We're 1 mile off 95. That stop in or like, let's go for a lap. And like if I'm giving them a hot lap, it's full send. Like we're
Yeah.
sideways, just give them a really good time to remember. And then hopefully they'll come back and maybe rent the facility for themselves one day, which has happened a lot.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really been cool.
One of the things I really like about EVs, and you can see this for yourself if you watch any EV review I do, is that you never really feel like you're beating the shit out of something. There's no groaning of the engine, there's no, you don't feel that mechanical strain that you feel with, even the best engineered gasoline cars. So is that consistent over the track life of the car?
This car has never been in for service, ever.
That's pretty
For
good.
nothing.
That's pretty good.
I mean, great. It's all things that are our fault that have happened on this trip, like the spoilers lifting, like just the glue, and the passenger seat controls fell off because I slammed the door on a hairbrush. But like little things like that.
Mhm.
The dogs have destroyed the interior. But that's
But
it.
still, I mean, if you're tracking a car for 55,000 miles to never bring it in for service is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so like actual
pretty
track
fucking
miles
good.
is probably 5,000, I would say, of that. The rest are road trips, but still 5,000 track
that's
miles is a
still like
lot.
a lot of track miles.
Well, I think
Yeah.
you're always underworking the Tesla motor because the max RPM of it's like 18,000.
Yeah.
And that only, according to this, like only happens when you're going 155 miles an hour, which you're not doing that much. And,
Right.
and you're not going into redlining first and then second and then third. You're always sitting at like
You're
30
always
to
in the middle of
70%.
the
Yeah.
range. Yeah.
I mean, there's also fewer moving parts in general.
Yeah, I mean, the
but-
cars don't care if they're wide open or anything. I mean, the one thing that you run into with EVs traditionally is heat buildup. And so with the performance cars, certainly I think I have my issues with Tesla, you guys do too, but I can pre-cool the entire drivetrain before heading out on track. So if I know I'm going to go ahead and take someone out, I'll kick on track mode, overclock the AC compressor, cool it all down, and I can go rip laps until it's out of battery and it won't thermal throttle.
Hey man, the demon does that too.
Right.
How many laps do you get out of a good charge?
Honestly, probably 25 or 30 laps.
Oh, that's like a lot, actually. That's not bad.
Yeah, and your biggest limitation is just range at that point.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
flat out. Like
Can,
we
and
take
can you charge it there in your garage or whatever there?
Yeah, we have like 40 charging points throughout the facility.
Oh, cool.
Like all the RV plugs.
Oh,
over there.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, if you've got RV charging, you can definitely do it. Yeah, that's what that Bonneville when they do the Tesla track days. They're all on the RV chargers.
Right, the
yeah.
NEMA 1450s.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But it's a great car. It's, look, as a testament to its build quality, which this trip was really meant to test, was to see, like, maybe the panel gaps aren't great, but is the mechanical screwed in pretty well? It was, again, flat out and sliding around on Bonneville. It was slamming into rocks in Moab. I mean, like 30 miles an hour, jamming these hard rocks into the battery pack. Like, I'm surprised it's still in there or didn't catch on fire. And
Wait, where were you slamming rocks into the battery pack?
we took
Did
it
you go
off-road at
off-roading?
Moab. There were like Jeeps that were turning around and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, let's just go for it.
That could have All right. Yeah.
See how good those skid plates are.
Yeah,
Content.
It would have made for a terrible environmental disaster that we've got an amazing ticket for.
Battery acid all over the place.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything like that to really
rocks
happen.
love lithium.
However, if there's ever a place to have a vehicle fire, it's in the middle of a rock because you're not going to light a forest on fire.
Right.
That's not bad.
Right, yeah, I mean, I really don't think that there was a risk of puncturing. The titanium shield and the battery, I mean, it's fine. But it was teeter-tottering for sure.
Yeah, bottoming it out
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
it was fine.
Has anyone done has anyone lifted one and put proper tires on one yet? Can you do that?
Yeah, so my
Is it
friend
possible?
just did a Model Y.
It's
which is the
possible.
SUV.
Like
Yeah.
to the little rally.
It's on
car
like
type build?
35s.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
big.
and it's got a 4-inch lift. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you see if there's a Model Y on 30?
If you go on,
Absolutely.
yeah, on Twitter, it's at I1 Tesla.
That's
And
hilarious.
the biggest problem.
WON?
What was that?
WON Tesla or
I number one.
I number one, okay.
Tesla, and the biggest problem I think is just suspension articulation.
Right.
You got to
Yeah.
disconnect the sway bars.
Right.
But they put an off-road mode in there, which probably doesn't do anything except
so
soften
just
the
traction
throttle.
control and less throttle.
Yeah, softens the tip in real harsh.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I mean, we took it off-road literally the day he got it, and it was pretty good.
It's pretty cool. It looks like a Subaru Crosstrek. That's kind of what it's.
Oh yeah, it looks like are those 35s? Wow, they really
31,
hide it.
sorry,
31.
31-inch tires.
Okay, there you
but
go,
yeah,
yeah.
4-inch lift.
Well, that sounds. I mean, it looks like a Subaru Crosstrek. Actually, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it looks cool. He
I
wrapped
kind of
it
like
on-
that.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
that looks kind of good.
They're really nice cars. I mean, I spent like 3 days with them. I know you've driven one. I drove it on the track. Like, I was impressed with the chassis dynamic stuff. Like, I mean, it leans a little bit, and the steering's kind of numbish. But
Yeah.
this is, for we've been doing this for 8 years with like really fast electric cars. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just a great daily device. It doesn't excite you in any way. It doesn't encourage you to drive quickly.
True.
I'm actually surprised at the number of performance Teslas I see in LA. I think it's a status thing.
It's
It is.
definitely just give me the faster one.
Yeah, because you don't. I mean, you should just get the base one if you're here.
No, you're sitting in traffic, 18 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
But this
wife
is-
drives a van, 87 horsepower.
This is the land of AMG, though. Like,
I
it's the
know.
same thing. It's the same crowd. They just need that badge.
Yeah, there's more AMG G-Wagons in LA.
Well, I saw a couple fake AMG badges today.
Oh, that's...
I saw one on a really nice R129 SL.
Oh, fake AMG? Oh, that's
Fake
sad.
AMG SL500 that was kind of donked out and
That's
definitely a different size AMG badge.
That's unfortunate. Don't
Yeah.
fake badge your cars, people. The only people who will even notice that badge is there are people that know it's bullshit.
Absolutely.
It's just, I mean, it's so fucking sad that people do that.
Oh man, I saw an E34 BMW with a V10 badge on the
Ah!
side. Like
But
they bought
what
a
if-
lot of badges.
Yeah, but what if?
What?
What
It would win
what
the
if,
internet
though,
if it was
it's
real.
straight
Yeah, but the
ahead?
guy who did that would not put a V10 badge.
No,
It would
of
just
course
let the
not.
exhaust speak for itself.
No, remember the E34 in New Zealand? There was a guy with the E34, and no, we didn't drive it, but it was at that car show that we had, and the dude had a turbo on it.
Oh yeah.
It's like 110 millimeter turbo.
Oh, really?
That was-
And it
Yeah.
was on a V10?
No. It was on an E34 M5 straight
six.
six.
Okay.
Brown,
Built,
right?
Built, yeah. Sleeper,
Kind of rad.
drag
I
cars.
love that.
Kind of rat roddy, and I think he was an older dude too.
He
He
was.
was like in his 60s.
Yeah, old white
but,
guy.
I mean, New
Do you
Zealand.
remember the turbo though? Remember where it's from?
No.
He said, and this could have been bullshit, but it was an IndyCar turbo. He said someone had found a bunch of these turbos from an IndyCar team that went under from whatever the fuck, and he bought all of them, and he owns all these turbos, and he has one on his E34, and it made like 1,100 horsepower.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
crazy.
cool. Do you ever see those videos of those Russian guys drifting them around the city?
Oh yeah. Well, you're talking
One of
about
the dudes died, right?
George Sevedev.
Those guys were insane.
He died in a car accident, but he was not driving.
Really?
Yeah, the crazy Russian drifter guy,
Yeah.
George something. Yeah.
They drift the Indy cars?
No, they're like
just E34 M5s.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this was it was like YouTube from 2009.
Yeah,
Right,
they
it was
made
my
Ronin.
childhood
Yeah,
YouTube.
shot over the shoulder in the center, and you're
Right.
just riding with the guy. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Bonneville, 162 miles an hour. Is that what you said? 159, 160.
Right, we got it to 159. It should have done 162.
How long did it take to how was your over 100 acceleration?
So getting to 100 was tough because it was just battling traction control on the way up. And with this track mode setting, you have 20 levels, and you can adjust the torque split front to rear.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, how do we get the most amount of traction without it not wanting to drift,
Right.
sending going backwards? Because I had never driven on the Salt before. I mean,
Weird.
I'd been to Bonneville a couple times, like driven out, peeked out, and then went back.
Yeah.
This was like, all right, it's perfect day. Let's just do it. So we took the roof box off, obviously.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, left the roof cross bars.
Oh, there's your 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, I think
Maybe.
it took us like 3 runs. I was doing 155, 155, 155, and either like the first time I saw someone out in the distance, and I just backed out for safety. I'm like, well, I don't know who's out there and how far away it actually is,
Yeah.
because there's no point of reference.
Yeah.
So I was just like, there's a little red dot. Turns out it wasn't close. Probably didn't have to back out, but fine. And the thing is, the first runs are always important because you have the highest
The most
battery
battery,
percentage,
yeah.
and your drivetrain's cool.
Right.
So after like on the 4th run, we were down to 30%. There's a supercharger at Bonneville, by the way. It's the next
in
exit.
Wendover?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So I went over there, 100% charge, and then we're like, let's just shoot a cool video, and haven't released it yet. But yeah, on the 4th run, we were down to like 31%, and it just cut power at 159. Like just started backing it down.
Yeah.
Just because we ran out of.
That's
ran
still
out of charge.
faster than I would expect for that thing. That's pretty good.
It got
It's real
so like
fast.
the 100 to 150 was really quick. The 150 to 160 was really slow. Yeah, but I was surprised with the high end acceleration
Yeah.
because when I first got the car, it was not great up there. Like just even going down the highway, like if you were to nail it, kind of died off at 100, 110.
That's been my experience.
Right, but then we got a software update, which, as you know, can make cars better or worse. In this case, it made it better.
Yeah.
And it pulled really hard, up to about 140.
Interesting.
No way. They're learning. They're like, well, I guess you want to go real fast, so here you go.
Well, this is the whole reason Taycan has a 2-speed transmission.
Yep.
Well, Taycan is fucking crazy fast.
Taycan's insane.
Yeah.
I've had quite a bit of seat time, and I'm
They're
just
the
like,
shit.
can't wait till they're 60 grand used.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think it's definitely possible.
It's possible. Look at
Yeah.
Panamera,
Yeah.
right? I think it'll follow that same exact curve, especially as EVs are getting better so
If
quickly.
they can build enough of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's already inventory sitting on
Is
lots.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The take rate's going to be huge. I mean, because a P90, P100 is up in, close to Taycan price.
No, they're
So-
cheaper now. So
They dropped
They dropped the P100 to
whacked
compete?
like 30K out of
I think what I'm
Yeah.
saying is there's enough people that have the money for both, and they'll go for Porsche because it's got a different look, and it's not a Tesla because everyone's got a Tesla, and it's a better, definitely better done inside. The interior is way better.
Well, I think just a huge selling point alone is it's not a Tesla. I mean,
Right.
even here in LA, we saw like 10 e-trons today.
Yeah. Tesla was the different thing in 2012. To buy a Tesla today, it's like
It's the California Camry.
Exactly. Did you see the Camry?
Oh, okay. I have to talk to you about this because I actually
Driving the TRD Camry this week.
I was sitting in traffic yesterday on the way to LA, hanging out the window, taking pictures of a lowered with exhaust TRD Camry
Yeah.
of the same vintage.
Dude, the TRD Camry I'm driving is $32,000. It is so cheap.
That is way cheaper than I was expecting.
If you asked me how much it was, and I didn't look at the sticker, I'd be like, 40.
I'd say 45.
Yeah, $32,000 fucking dollars. It costs nothing.
That's one of the most, I think, fairly priced cars I've heard of in the last couple of years.
I was
Everything's
like,
so expensive
oh,
right
shit,
now.
are you kidding me? This is really, really cheap.
So explain it. It's the TRD. Do they have
TRD
a Pro?
Camry. What?
Is this the maxed out one, or is there a
There's
Pro?
no Pro.
The
There's
TRD
no
Pro.
Okay,
The,
I am not sure
the
if
TRD
it's
Pro is for
Camry.
Baja. That's the Baja one.
TRD
Right.
Camry
Camry lift kit.
Yeah, Safari Camry. No, it's so you get an exhaust. You might get a tune, but I don't know. You get springs and possibly sway bars. You get wheels and a body kit. That's what you get.
But it's the same.
It's a 301 horsepower,
V6.
3.5 liter V6.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's the same engine as the normal car,
Correct.
and I think that's also 301 horsepower.
Correct.
But it's got a
It's
lot
got an
of
exhaust
angles on it.
and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I got it. I intentionally got it. I asked for it. I didn't. They weren't like, please take this. I asked for it, and I asked for it because I had a hypothesis that after driving all the Supras, that the TRD Camry would be like a more authentic Toyota than the Supra.
And
I don't necessarily thing. Well, I do, but unfortunately, it's not really a good thing. The thing is about it is it's such a good value for like the space and the quality. And
It's front wheel drive still?
It is front wheel drive, and but they could add a couple little things, not really add anything to the price, very little to the price, and really make it much better. There's some real shortcomings to it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The transmission tune is horrible.
Well, I knew that from the base car.
Right, like the paddles are actually reasonably responsive, but if you put the auto lever into sport mode,
Does it go S4
Yes.
all the time? What is with it? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I can't figure it
I don't
out.
understand, but as you're accelerating in sport mode, it does shift a little higher than it does in regular mode. But as you slow down, it doesn't downshift. It just stays in 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th all the way until like an old school hydraulic based automatic transmission.
Can
like
it rev match or does it drag?
It drags, but it doesn't drag like horribly. It drags. If it downshifted the way it downshifted manually, automatically also, it would be fine.
So it's purely software.
It's purely a software problem. It would cost them nothing to fix it. Also, the seats are like anti-sporty, but they give you a unique fabric and embroidery and shit. Like I really feel like if they used a different seat, like out of the 86, or somehow found a way to homologate a sportier seat, that would go a long way. And I don't know if, I suspect that this car I'm driving had a lot of track miles put on it before, because either the brakes are really soft and a big brake kit should be an option, or this fluid's been boiled a couple times and it's just too
Well, who's
spongy.
tracking a TRD Camry?
Oh,
That's
magazines.
I don't know. Everybody.
Magazines.
Everybody who
Yeah.
asks for the press car beats the fucking balls.
Well, I knew
the
that.
tires.
Yeah.
The tires appear to have experienced racing.
Okay, that little sidewall.
They're a little sidewall marbly,
Yeah.
but like, it's so cheap that I don't even want to crap on it. But the things they could do to make it actually great could still probably keep it under $35,000.
Oh, yeah.
And at that price, like, they should do that.
So what about the Avalon TRD? Because that's
I've never
also a
driven
thing.
one, but I saw Doug made a video of
Yeah.
it, and a lot of people watched.
My press fleet has one, and I've requested, so we'll see.
I mean, I don't really know.
I don't know anything
difference.
about them either.
You know what I know about the Avalon? The Avalon was the last car you could buy in America with a bench seat.
Yep, the bench seat.
Is it still a bench seat?
No,
Okay,
but it was the last one.
It was. My
Yeah.
uncle with his bad hip was fucking all about that thing.
I gotta wonder, like, is this the most obvious example of just wanting some kind of badge recognition that you haven't just given into, like, domestic life? Because a Camry is such a wonderful commuting, decent sedan, and
Right.
the Avalon is too. And now you're like, no, we're gonna make this the fast one. It's like, it's not, because it's not any faster, right? It's the same engine.
It's not.
So it's more of like an appearance
Here's the
package. It
thing.
looks a little. It has an attitude to it.
Here's the thing, though. That exhaust that's on there, it really makes it sound like the Lotus.
Well, it's the same engine underneath.
It is. And if you keep it in manual mode and keep the thing spun up over like $4,000, I shit you not, it's fast.
So everyone,
It's
look on the
legitimately
streets.
fast.
Look on the streets for Matt at 5,500 RPM cruising in the
Dude,
Camry.
it's legitimately fast. If you keep the thing wound, it's fast and it sounds like the Lotus, and you almost are going, I can just smell the whiff of motorsport to this. Like, it's really, the engagement of it is very good up at the top, but the automatic does not want it to be there under any circumstances.
So given the price value, Supra or TRD Camry? That's kind of how we started, by the
If
way.
you want a Toyota, you should buy the Camry.
Well, okay, so your hypothesis is that the Camry is more Toyota than the Supra.
Yeah.
I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
I think it is.
And I've driven them, but yeah.
I'm going to make the video of that tomorrow morning. I also drove the Ferrari F8 Spider, which is more interesting, probably.
Oh, okay, so I don't know anything about the Ferrari F8 Spider.
Here's what you need to know about it. In 2010, the 458 came out. They then put turbos on it later, and now, and they called it the 488, and now the 488 does not meet the 2022 European emission requirements. So they came out with a whole new facelifted car, a whole new engine, and they gave it more power, but it's also more efficient. And you know how it's more efficient? You can no longer disable start-stop.
Whoa, on a Ferrari.
On a $400,000 Ferrari, there is 0 ways to disable the start-stop system.
There's got to be a
I mean, that's
workaround.
surely going to end up on every car then, right?
Maybe, but it's got that particulate filter like the European Porsches have.
But did the
So it doesn't
American
sound
one
good.
get it?
Yep. We don't know about that yet because the test cars are all Euro spec. So I don't know. But the Euro spec test car I have, you could not disable start-stop. There's no function to do it. And it has the particulate filter, so it sounds
Dude, it sounds
quieter.
like nothing. I mean,
Really?
I edited the
You edited
video,
the video.
and I kept like increasing volume. I kept listening. I was like, I couldn't believe how brief the moment was where I could hear the Ferrari-ness.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were not that much further down the road, and it was gone. And
Yeah.
it was just air. And and when you're approaching, it's just turbo whistle, which a lot of cars do. But man, it was really disappointing.
It sounds like a McLaren 570, actually. It sounds like a McLaren from 3 or 4 years ago.
Is it
it's
louder
quieter
on
than
partial throttle before the turbo spools?
No. Really.
So
It's
basically
quiet,
the
dude.
488
Just-
is better.
Oh, they're going to get so mad at me for saying this.
All right,
I'm
we
going to
won't
say it
force you
anyway.
into it.
No, I'm going to say it anyway. It is the best possible argument for the $160,000 458 Spider from 2012.
Yep.
Because the rest of the car, basically the same.
Is it the same chassis,
Yes.
but just some tweaks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tweaked exterior,
Tweak
more
exterior,
power,
tweak
obviously.
aero, more
It looks
power.
cool.
It does look cool. Like objectively, yeah, it's a fucking awesome $400,000 Ferrari. I'm talking about real specific nuance. But if I spent $400K and I was not able to defeat the start-stop system, I would be so like. I understand why they have to put it there. I do not understand why they have to make me use it.
Right, yeah, because when they do emissions testing, at least here in the U.S., they do it key up.
Mm-hmm.
It's how the car starts, comfort mode, whatever. Even if they did it like how BMW used to do start-stop, where you'd have to hit it every single time, I could see that.
Most cars you have to hit it every
Yeah.
time, every single time.
Okay.
But this one, there's just no way to turn it off, and I was flabbergasted actually. On the other hand, like crazy fast, great brakes, great handling, ride's beautiful because it's rear wheel drive. It's got a pretty spacious frunk. Top goes up and down in 14 seconds, which is perfectly acceptable. The McLaren is 11, but others are faster. But I'll tell you what, this is going to sound snobby, but after driving a bunch of carbon tub cars, you can really feel the lack of chassis rigidity in the aluminum platform of the F8. I mean, I can actually feel the cowl shake. I never thought I'd be that guy who could be like, well, the chassis is not as rigid as the McLaren 720. It's 70% more rigid, and I can tell. But I'd become that guy.
You want to talk about cowl shake?
Yeah.
Just going over driveway entrances in LA in the Morgan, I can
yeah.
feel the whole thing. I can actually watch the front end.
That's not cowl shake. That's like, you never see that video of the bridge during the earthquake?
Yeah. Well, like
The
a bow and
tundra torque.
bow and arrow, or bows were made from wood so they could flex.
Right, yeah.
This is bow and arrow technology.
No,
The
but just
Morgan's hilarious.
cruising in the Morgan over these little bumps, though, everything is.
It's super funny.
Yeah,
You're
it's weird.
steering, whatever you're steering is so fucking far away.
So what
You're
if you?
steering something in another county.
Oh yeah, you mail a letter and then it turns and then you get notified that it worked. It's
Well,
crazy.
I just love every time I hit a bump, my butt comes off
Yeah.
the seat.
Yeah.
That
But
I
it's a
noticed.
totally unique motoring experience.
I'm so in love.
Where are you going with it?
I'm taking it up to San Francisco.
Oh God, it's gonna be miserable. You're not taking the highway, are you?
No, we're going up the coast.
Okay.
I've never done Route 1 end to end, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so I figured, perfect car, weather should be good. Just get a cool story out of it.
How
Yeah.
many days?
I don't know yet.
Okay. The key to driving PCH in the Big Sur area is super, super early.
Yes.
So whether that means you do it on the way up or the way back or whatever, like the best drive I've ever had on that road, I stayed in Big Sur for an event. I woke up Monday morning at 6 a.m. and drove it straight south, and it was one of the best drives of my life. But like midday, RVs. And
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah,
we're going to do it like a super early morning and just do it probably on the way back, so we're on the ocean side.
Yeah.
I would think. Well, we haven't really planned it out yet, but same with this whole trip. We've just done basically 2.5 months, and we decided 2 days before we left that we'd go.
That's awesome.
That's a good route for that car because the car's not fun at 10 tenths. It's not even really fun at 9 or 8. But
I haven't driven it outside
7.
6, 7, it's fabulous.
It's really and it's going to be kind of busy on that road. There's a lot of tourists out right now. It's the summertime, but that'll be a nice, windy, gorgeous. You can look at stuff, and everybody loves that car. And every time, anything you look at in it, it just looks like magic. It's so cool.
It's kind of the send-off for the last of the +4 with the number 4.
Yeah.
And I saw you talk about this.
If you write it out, it means something different.
Right.
It's POUSFOUR. That's the new one.
That's the new one, which I talked to Dennis. Everyone knows Dennis at Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Dennis at Morgan West is the man.
Yep. And he's like, it's probably a year away till we get the BMW engined one.
Yeah, they just started building it.
That one's going to be so
Literally,
terrifying.
like Steve started building it over there. It's going to take him like a year.
Yeah.
The tree's not done fucking growing yet.
So other than the Ferrari and the Camry, what has been, not necessarily the best, but what's been crazy interesting that you've been driving?
Crazy interesting?
Yeah, anything that like you just love, but for no particular reason?
I did 3,400 miles in the Urus, and a lot of people think the idea of a Lamborghini crossover is very stupid, but I get it.
Well, so you went on this big trip. It was adventure drives, right?
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
It was fun.
Was it? So
Yeah,
you
it was
got to go to, you went to Glacier, right?
Yes.
Did you get to go to Polebridge? It was that
No.
little town, if you go outside of Glacier, all on the dirt
On the
road.
east side of
It's,
Glacier.
yeah, it's sort of on the east, but it's straight north.
So no, and that's because the Blackfeet Reservation was closed because they were protesting.
Oh, so
Right.
we were there like 5 or 6 days before you guys were. We
Yeah,
went
no,
up to
they-
this amazing little town up there.
So they closed the Trump administration, which pains me to just say those words, as they do, fucked over a bunch of Native Americans on the Indian reservation, and they basically, I don't even remember exactly what exactly it was. Something about not getting them health care for COVID or whatever it was. And they pretty much were like, well, we're fucking closing the border. You can't come through. Fuck your vacations. And so the east entrance to Glacier National Park was closed. So we drove from the west basically all the way to the east, and then the road was closed and we turned around and went back. So
Right. And but the Canadian stretch you couldn't do either, right?
no, we went into Oregon and Idaho instead of going up to Canada,
And
which was a little disappointing.
It was.
I mean, it was a little disappointing because it wasn't Canada, but
Right.
like it was fine. It was whatever.
And the Urus was good for this?
The Urus is awesome. That's a proper GT car. It's real fast. It's really comfortable. Everybody was jealous of us. It has a great stereo. It didn't have radar cruise control, which
Really?
It was an option that the particular test car didn't have.
Okay.
Which is, if you're gonna do a trip like that, is really in 2020 is a great option.
Other than just doing up and down on the steering wheel all the time.
It was a little like because there's so busy. There's so many cars out that like going 55 in a line of cars in an Urus is like mentally it's so exhausting.
Right.
You just want to set the radar cruise and then just have to steer and you can just kind of zone out.
Every car that you go on a road trip in needs some sort of driver
radar
assistance of some
cruise,
kind.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not even to rely on, just to like save your foot, the
Yeah.
mental kind of
I
ability.
swear to God, my heel was hurting. Like I have like it was like pain on my heel just from holding my foot like that.
So I've
I
been.
sound like a bitch when I say that.
No, it's first world problems.
That adds
but
up.
It's true.
I bought
That's
some
up
like
real fast.
Tiger shoes or whatever they're called,
Yeah.
and Harris was like, "Oh, I love Tiger." And he looked at the back and he went, "Oh, you didn't get the rounded heel." I was like, "So?" And he's like, "It digs in after a while." And I was like, And then when I've done long trips, it does create this weird blister pressure point
Yeah.
that irritates you way more. Like anyone who hasn't had that happen is thinking we're a bunch of bitches.
No.
It's like having a little rock thorn down there.
Yeah,
After
it
5
hurts.
hours, like it kind of stings. It's
Yeah,
weird.
having a whole and it's actually if you're driving canyons, or if you're driving racetrack, or even if you're varying your speed on the highway, it doesn't really happen. It's only if you do these long drives, you're just holding a constant speed.
Yeah, so I've been so lucky, you know, I view autopilot as purely as driver assistance. I don't think anything more than that. However, it's been amazing on this trip, just in terms of lane keep and distance to the car in front. To the point where I got in the Morgan, I could already feel it in my foot, and I just drove across town for an hour.
Yeah. And you've already your foot already
I already
hurts.
feel it.
Well,
I'm
the
like,
Morgan,
dang.
do you take your shoes off?
No, but so close because we have our luggage in the back too.
So
But
I had to take my shoes off to drive the Morgan.
maybe for the long stretch I'll have to do this.
And my feet were, because the Morgans, if you take your shoes off and drive that car and you have a crash, that shit'll cheese grate your feet.
Oh,
And
those little tiny bars. I was like, well, the first time I hit the clutch pedal, I'm like, am I hitting something else?
That's correct. But I don't care. That car is so terrible, and yet also it's just so great. It makes me so happy.
And that particular spec is really nice too. I love
really
that color.
Though. It's like $90,000.
Yeah.
So
I would get one. Like this one has a radio, air conditioning, like stuff you don't need in a Morgan. I would just get.
I like the air
solely
conditioning.
based. I haven't tried it yet.
It's down at your feet.
Oh, is it?
Do you even notice that there's a radio?
Yeah, it's like
It's
way in there.
Yeah, you better like the song you pick.
It's way under there, and the USB port doesn't actually charge your phone.
Oh,
it only is for transmitting sounds.
I'll have to bring a battery bank then.
Yeah,
These are all things I
definitely.
need to know.
You do need to know those things. If you're hardcore, you go the whole week with no roof. We did the whole week.
We're gonna try.
Roof, yeah.
Yeah, it's really up to Alyssa how much she complains without it.
Yeah, I mean, you got a girl who's willing to do this stuff with you. That's impressive.
She's great. Yeah, and honestly, I'll probably get her to drive it. She's driven stick a couple times.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. You just roll off the
Yeah.
clutch, basically. It's got enough torque. So we'll see. She's cool. We got her drifting around the track. We have a Crown Vic police car,
Oh, that's a good choice.
which you just got to have one. I bought one at auction for.
God damn, being at the racetrack really offers you all kinds of
Dude,
opportunities.
you and
Yeah.
Cletus McFarland, those guys, you just buying up or renting, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's really brilliant.
It's cool for us, and right. So we just go out, and so I got her doing J turns, and she can hold
There
a
you
little
go.
bit of a drift in that
Nice.
thing now. Just lock it in one.
Nice. Is you weld the diff?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to. It
When you
needs it.
do, that thing will be easy to drift.
Yeah, it's a little boaty right now. You gotta get the weight in, and then just.
We
hold
tried
it.
to drift Zach's car. It's harder than it looks.
Which car?
The Crown Vic.
Yeah, once I pumped the tires to 75 psi, then it did it.
I haven't even looked at the tire pressure, honestly.
That's where you start.
You have, like,
Right.
because I went to a drift day with it, and I was hucking it in, and it was doing nothing, and this guy comes up, he's like, hey man, crank the PSI to 70. He's like, that's what I do. And this guy had the least powerful car in his team and was leading the tandems. That's because he had crazy, tire pressure. He's very good, but you need the tire pressure.
Yeah, it's just a lot of weight transfer in that thing
Yep.
to get it. That's how I do it. And there's no bolstering in the seat, so I'm hanging on.
Dude, it sucks.
Really
seats
gotta
are
hang
terrible.
onto the wheel. Yeah.
The guy that built the Crown Vic you drove, he's manual swapped it now. The guy
I
that
know,
built
he
the
hit me
track
up
car.
and I sent him to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm down.
All right,
Just
good.
gotta
I
meet him.
figured he would. He hit me up. He's like, "Do you want to drive it again?" I go, "Train keeps moving forward, bro." But here's Zach's number. People want me to revisit their cars. Oh, you drove
like
it when
after
it-
they've made a difference.
Yeah, they you drove it, and now I did this change, and I want you to drive it. And I understand why they would want that. I really do. But the video wouldn't be good.
Well, you've already given your impression.
Yeah, you're basically talking about enough content for an Instagram post and not a video. But it would take just as much time to go out there and do the thing.
Right, well, because it's
Nothing
not
close.
like you're super close to the mountains here. I mean, you're close
No.
enough, but it's an hour
No.
to at least get out there, get
To
set
film a
up,
video
and
is
go.
half a day.
Right,
for me.
exactly.
Yeah. Last week I had 3 press cars. This week I have 2.
Okay.
Zach's gonna get one next week because I got too many cars coming in.
Too many.
So I just started getting cars, so I'm relatively new, a couple months now.
Uh-huh.
The first day I got sort of, signed up, ready to go, everything's good, approved. I got 3 in my driveway,
Nice.
which was, it sounds
A
great,
little overwhelming.
but that's like a heart attack. It's like I need to provide relevant, good content and evaluate 3 cars,
Yeah.
and I have a week.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not enough time. So I had the V60 Polestar.
Oh, those are cool.
I loved it.
Yeah, they're
It's
nice.
like a great cruiser.
Mhm.
So I got that for 2 weeks. I asked Volvo for an extra, and I just basically drove it for the whole first week, and then I did the other cars later.
Yeah. No, it's very challenging to drive a car enough to then come up with something interesting to say, and then go do that video.
Right.
A week with a car sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Well, when
especially-
normal life gets in the way,
Right.
When it's not, you're not like spending a week driving.
Yeah, there's been times in the past where I did, but especially, I got 3 press cars in a week and got the CO here.
Right.
And so it was like, holy shit, we got to do all this stuff. You know
And
what I mean?
shows. I mean,
Yeah.
you're tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot. But it's okay. This is our first show. It didn't go completely to shit.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Did the thing work, Zach?
Dude, I'm linking up assets, and this is
Good?
amazing.
Is
This
it going to look good
amazing.
on the other end?
I hope so.
hope so too.
One last thing before we sort of wrap up.
Yeah.
I was just in New York. I drove the Polestar 2.
Oh, I have it coming on Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
I'm excited.
I wanted to hear what you would think about that car from a styling perspective and from Polestar, because it recognizably looks like a Volvo.
Yes.
However, it's not. It's a Polestar.
I know, I think it's stupid.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
I don't think they needed a new brand.
I agree.
If you ask me, I just don't understand why.
Because Volvos are going electric, like they claim.
Right.
And now Polestar is the new electric sub-brand of what the company that's going to go electric is.
Exactly. I'm not really sure I get it. I loved the Polestar 1. Like,
Cool
that
car.
car rocks.
Cool car.
My wife wants to buy one. And the Polestar 2, just based on pictures, looks nice. I've not touched one. I've not seen one in person. I've just seen a picture. It's all I've seen. So I'm excited for sure to try it. But I just don't know. But I don't get the Polestar branding. I don't.
Yeah, Polestar branding aside, the 2 I was super pleased with.
Yeah?
As a just sitting inside of it, the UI being this new Google thing. You know, I rolled up in a Model 3, jumped into the Polestar, spent literally, it was, the first drives are not like how they normally are. It's, distance, here's the car to yourself, bring it back in 3 hours, and I'm in the middle of Manhattan. It's like...
Perfect, how convenient.
Yeah, it's like, okay, FDR,
Right.
Let's see what we can do. And took it up to Bear Mountain and back. But getting back in the Model 3, from not talking, nerdy EV stuff, just as a car to drive, I was like, wow, this Model 3 is garbage.
Wow. Well, the Model 3 is a $50,000 car that feels like a $30,000 car. I mean,
Right.
the money goes to other things. It goes to the motors and the batteries and the software and the driver's assistance stuff. And but where it doesn't go is the fit and finish and the materials and that kind of stuff. And other manufacturers are focusing on those things, or at least have a lot more experience producing a luxury good.
The thing that I liked about this Polestar was really material choice inside. Like
Volvo does that so well. They
yeah,
do
especially in
such a
their
good job.
inscription cars,
Yeah,
that
they do
really
such
nice
a-
fine grain leather.
Yeah, they
This-
do a really, really good job.
Right, so this is where I saw the separation from Volvo to Polestar was inside. So nothing was leather and nothing was made to look like leather. It was all like sportsman wear, like this breathable material.
Like technical fabric?
Like technical fabric.
That's cool.
And it had gold seat belts, which I love.
Oh yeah, Volvo's doing that now.
Yeah, with the Polestar.
Yeah.
I was like, any car with gold seat belts, good
I
for
like
me.
the yellow belts. Those are cool, yeah.
And I drove the performance pack and the non, and the performance pack was smoother and had really good brakes.
Oh, I wonder what they're going to send me. I hope they know me well enough to send me the
They
performance.
should, and it's it's the twisty Olins.
The Olin's dampers,
Yeah.
yeah, those are the shit.
Yeah.
The Polestar 1 had amazing body control.
Yeah, whoever
I mean-
does their chassis there is really good.
Olin.
Yeah, well, like the guy who calibrates it. Yeah.
I'm very excited for Polestar 2. I think that Polestar 1 was so cool, but I actually think it would have been better if it was a full EV.
Yes, agreed, 100%.
I know why they did it the way they did it, but full EV I think would really, really be amazing.
Yeah, because that 4-cylinder, that 2-liter motor is effective, but it's not fun. It doesn't sound amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's effective but not inspiring.
Right, there you go.
And the thing that car does really well is the EV range that it comes with while still being a hybrid. So just give me the 250. Ditch the gas engine. Let's just call the game on that.
Right, rather than giving you a compromise and sort of the worst of both worlds, just give you the best of the
Right.
EV side.
Yeah, exactly. What's coming up next after you do this trip?
So we're not totally sure. I have 2 Taycons coming, so we're gonna do Turbo S versus X on the track. Maybe some colleagues will bring up a McLaren, something kind of cool that and leverage the track for that type of thing. And then I'm going to take their 4S on crazy aero wheels on a road trip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So get a road trip thing out of it, and then just other EVs, non-EVs, fun stuff. The Morgan, I'm really excited about this trip in particular. Sort of a bucket list for me.
I can't believe you're stuck making hour-long road trip videos.
That's the sad part.
That's crazy. I've never had any kind of success making those videos.
No one else
I don't
does.
understand.
And like, you know what's crazy is I need like inside EVs or electric or one of these guys to pick up my other videos. Like if we go drifting around the track, in order for it to perform, it's all conquest of EVs.
Yeah.
It's all.
This is what your people want.
This is what my we have 22,000 subscribers, and they just love EV road trips. So that's what I'm going to be doing the next couple of years to pay the bills.
Niche product.
All right.
Which
Bro,
is
if they're
fun.
watching 17 ads of fucking
Yeah.
video, let's do it.
I mean, the viewer retention is like 60 to 70%.
That's
Wow.
fantastic.
Which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Absolutely
And
fantastic.
I think it's like this ASMR type thing because we show the road going through and it like turns
baby.
people's brains off.
Yeah.
And so I think we kind of have cracked that code unintentionally.
It's funny.
So I can't wait for Rivian to come because then we can do some off-roady adventures.
Yeah.
Because we've been camping out of the Model 3 this trip.
Looks like it.
Yeah. But, the thing was, let's see if people are interested in the adventure side more than the technical car side. And so we're just going to pursue that a little bit more with mostly Rivians.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fantastic. Good for you. You found a hole. Found a hole in the
Found a
internet,
niche.
filled it, turned it into money.
That's
Love hearing
exactly it. Yep.
Well, I'm happy to keep your Model 3 for you.
Thank you.
Although I didn't realize it was so fucking dirty. It's definitely going in the basement.
Yeah, street carpet.
It's definitely going downstairs.
You might have to sweep after it pulls out.
I can't wait to hear what you think about that Morgan on the other side of your trip.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I think I'll probably write an article for Hooniverse or someone because it won't do well on my YouTube channel.
Out of spec
Yeah.
motoring
Out of spec is the YouTube.
is
Yep.
the YouTube, and of course you can read Kyle's stuff on some Hooniverse.
Hooniverse and Inside EVs.
For sure. Man, so nice to be in this new studio.
Loving
I feel
it.
fucking good, man. This is good. I hope the sound quality's good. I hope the video quality's good. I hope Zach's lower thirds look good. And we're going to have a monitor by the time we do our next studio. They're bringing me that power cable tomorrow. So, yay! That's our show. Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine from Westside Collector Car Storage. Get your own podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a soundproof room, some really sick microphones, an amazing mixer, mic stands, a live edge walnut table with blue resin, acoustic foam, and a gallery of fine automobiles from which to broadcast on top of. That's our show. We will see you next time. Bye.